Hi, and welcome to this quick tool review. This time around we're going to do something a little different. Normally what I try and do is present some new tool I found either from overseas or a local vendor that presents a really good deal at decent quality. This time around is a found tool that my brother-in-law found at a garage sale and bought for me that really is exceptional quality, and it's machinist made, I believe. So we'll get to that in a second. When I say the word pipe wrench, I think most people think of these kind of wrenches here with the cast aluminum body or the cast iron body or forged body with the forged and hardened steel jaws. And these guys are serrated and they're designed for turning, tightening cylindrical pipes where you don't mind marring the surface. There's another kind of pipe wrench, this style, that has square jaws without any serrations, and it's designed for like brass fittings under sinks and things that you don't want to damage the fitting on, and obviously it won't grab on a round pipe. This is an old pipe wrench that I got from my grandfather, and I suspect it's 70 or 80 years old now, still very functional and well made, probably all forged or cast as one piece. Truly pretty amazing quality in the old days. Things really were meant to, designed to last. He had another version of this that had much beefier jaws on it, and the body went down to a hollow handle that had wood that was screwed together on either side, so it was wood on the outside with metal running down the middle. Beautiful piece, unfortunately lost to time. But this is not what I was trying to show you. Even though this is a very nicely made piece, what I want to show you is this guy. This guy right here, I believe, is machinist made, and the attention to detail and the amount of work that went into it truly is amazing. So if you look at this guy in operation, it is very smooth. There's almost no side-to-side play in the jaws. The handle is what you twist to tighten on the part. There are micro serrations on the inside of the jaws to hold on a part, and they might mark it a little bit, but they'd also add some grip. Beautiful work because they're all evenly spaced. I'm not quite sure. It looks like they did lots of passes in there because on either side there's no cross hatching. They're diamond where the two diagonals meet, and on the bottom parts where they couldn't meet there is no diamond. So I think that's what they did. It's a beautiful piece. It has attention to detail with a lanyard hold on the bottom, or maybe for a bar for even tightening more. You could take a shaft and put it in here and get a little extra torque to tighten. As you tighten these jaws, which they happen to sit very nicely here, as you tighten these jaws, I had to say nicely and then make it flop all over the place. As they tighten on a part, they tend to flex out this way, which puts force that's trying to spread these guys apart. So for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So I'm pressing in, and the object is pressing back out. And this part here is being pushed this direction. The jaw is being pushed that direction, but there is a shaft that runs down the middle and is threaded into the bottom part. So that bottom part is also being pulled this direction. So the pressure is on this brass bushing here, which is being used as a thrust bearing. Very nicely done. Very, very smooth tool. Let's take this guy apart and see how it's made inside. So here are the three parts together, and you'll notice here is that brass washer that's being used as a thrust bearing. They also have a split sleeve where the radial force is applied, and that split sleeve is held in place by the tiny custom made set screw that holds it in. And the inside of this guy is Acme threaded. The handle is octagonally shaped, and they didn't just make it an octagonal shape, but they then tapered it. And not just single tapered, but dual tapered, and then put it in the lathe and rounded off the other parts. Really nice attention to detail there. The back is turned into beautiful rounded handle with room for a lanyard and some nice relief there. All very pretty. The bottom part of the jaw that fits over here, here are the serrations, if you can see them. And The inside was hollowed out in a very interesting fashion, because if you think of how you'd want to make this, what first comes to mind for me would be to take 2 drill bits to make the rounded sides, and then take a milling cutter and try and cut out the flats on the sides. Have to be a pretty long milling cutter, because this is relieved all the way down to here. But they didn't do that on this, because if you look at the radius here, even if it is a radius, this radius would be so large, the cutter would be all the way out here. And so you couldn't do flats because it would interrupt it. So I don't know how they did it. Maybe broached it, not quite sure. The other side is round up to about here with obviously 2 holes. They did a nice, not just a rounded section, but a relieved rounded section that has a little ridge on it. It's a very nice detail. Beautiful piece. And the top part of this guy, much like this guy and this guy, were all turned on a lathe. So first, you have to imagine that they started out with a square piece of stock that was the outside dimensions of this, obviously. And they hogged out all this material and then popped this guy on the lathe. And that's evidenced by the center mark they put in the end here. And there's another center mark under the grease on this side. And here are the Acme threads. So they made all this square right here, and then they popped in the lathe and rounded over these parts here. Very beautiful attention to detail. And if they put it in the lathe, that would suggest that here to here would be the diameter of the circle they cut, which would of course also mean that for the internal part, this circle would continue all the way out here. So they did something special on this part, which I'm still kind of amazed at, and kind of not certain how they did it at all. They did a beautiful job on the Acme threads as well. And the Acme threads are a nice touch. They could have gone for easy standard threads, you know, but they wanted that extra force capability that Acme threads provide. Just all in all, a beautiful piece of work, and I'm really excited. And believe it or not, I got this for $20. So not only was it a great find, but it was really a great value. I mean, I'm guessing someone put at least 100 hours of work in making this thing. It's beautiful and an amazing find in my book. So thanks for watching. I hope you found it as interesting as I did, and hope to see you next time.